Awesome.
All right, here we go. Hello, guys, and welcome. I want to talk to you about something really special today, and I thank you for jumping on here and having a listen, because it's going to benefit you guys a lot in the short term, but definitely in the long term, whether it's for yourself or for someone that you know. Now, I'm joined here with a fellow BCHP Panania member, or, yeah, fellow member, I guess we could call her, Bianca Camuglia. Camuglia. I keep getting that wrong. I told you I'd get it wrong. Hello and welcome.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yes, it's very, very nice to be here. Now, just a little bit of background. This chat started because Bianca's been on a bit of a journey for herself over the past couple of years. And what she shared with me was a short video of her talking, and it was an interview for Pink Hope, wasn't it? Now, Pink Hope is a charity, and Bianca will tell you a little bit more about Pink Hope soon, but Bianca spoke so beautifully about her journey and about everything that we're about to talk about now, and I thought it would be, and so does she, the most incredible thing to share with you guys, especially while we've got a little bit more time on our hands. Now, Bianca will be doing most of the talking, I promise, but we really want to focus on self-awareness, and we're going to talk about that now, and then we'll move on to Bianca's story. But Bianca, let's have a little chat about self-awareness, and more importantly, about listening to our bodies.
Yeah, so I think it's really key and important that everybody's really in tune with their own bodies, both, mentally and physically, and, just little simple things that we can do every day, like getting our feet out on the dirt and in the ground, and just laying there and listening to our surrounds, and actually just being in tune with who we are is super, super important. We've got such busy work, home, lifestyles, all of these things that we cram into our life, and just taking that time to stop and be in tune with who we are as an individual, feeling all of those parts of our body, both mentally and physically, is actually really, really important. Because, look, if we don't do that, we end up in situations like I did, where, you find out these scary things and it's so much worse. So we really need to listen to those small whispers and those gut feels, our intuition. It's there for a reason. Some people refer to it as anxiety. It's, I don't believe in that necessarily. I think, that's all intuition, and that's things that you should listen to, that little voice there, especially in the beginning of those things that you really need to be in tune with and listening to.
It's funny how many of us would say that we prioritize our health, right? It's on the top three thing. I've always said, it's family and friends, my health, including, every facet of that, and then, business or whatever is giving me money at the time. But 9 times out of 10, you look at it, family and money are definitely up there, and health is almost forgotten about. And when you and I were having a chat before, we said, sometimes people, who may be conscious of listening to their body, don't actually hear anything because of the busyness and the noise that happens in life. And the two simple things that we said was meditation, even 5 minutes by yourself, thinking about what's going on, inside your body, and also maybe something as simple as just having a bath. The different ways that you really stay in tune with your body.
Yeah, so definitely. I mean, I always try and wake up in the morning and lay in bed just for an extra minute or two to do exactly that, just to think about how I'm feeling, what's laying ahead, and just actually being grateful. I think gratitude is a really big thing as well. It's just being grateful for those little things that we have. Being able to open our eyes in the morning is a start. If that's all you have at that point in time, then that's what you hold on to. So, yeah, just taking those moments, as you said, bath, shower, any of those times, even if you're at the gym working out, you can still have your mind thinking and processing, certain things, and giving yourself that time for you is super key.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Very insightful. Now, even though Bianca is awesome at talking about self-awareness, her mindset definitely comes from her hindsight that she's had, and her hindsight that she's had through something that's happened to her, and it's happened to thousands, if not, maybe even hundreds of thousands of women. It's a pivotal moment in her life, and I'm going to ask you now if you're okay with it, sharing that with everyone so that everyone can really put things into perspective, because being aware can save your life.
Yeah, 100%. So for me, in February 2020, I woke up one morning and essentially just woke up with a swollen breast, which, for a lot of women around that time of the month is something super normal. But for me, it wasn't. It was something that was different, didn't sit quite right with me. And I wouldn't say it was something that was huge. It wasn't overly sore. It didn't prevent me from doing anything, but it just was that, again, niggling feeling. Something didn't feel right. Obviously wasn't normal for me, which led me to obviously have a conversation with my GP, which, yes, was, I guess, a little bit of good timing because I had already booked that appointment with my GP. But again, it was that intuition whilst I was in with my GP saying, you know what, I should actually have this conversation, even if I think it's, something that's small or insignificant or had actually finished and resolved itself, so didn't think much of it. But just opening up that conversation then led us to actually go down a path and actually finally be diagnosed with cancer within a week of that GP appointment. So yeah, super critical that I did actually have that conversation, and super critical that I acknowledged what was different for me, even though, as I said, a lot of women would have thought that that was normal because they've heard of that, in society of that being a normal symptom associated with other things. So it would have been very easy for me to, fob that off and ignore that and just keep going, as you said, with our busy days and everything else that we had on. But yeah, just taking that time to have the conversation obviously meant that I was able to pick that up and pick it up early. So I'm here today and gone through treatment in 2 years, which is super quick. And obviously, being able to have a really good outcome. So, and that's all attributed to listening to my body super early.
Very insightful. Like you said, you just woke up one morning and it wasn't something that you maybe felt or you thought, was kind of creeping on. Sometimes, when things happen to us, if they happen repeatedly, 2 or 3 days in a row, then you start to get the hint, right? But, for that to happen the first day and then, a week later, you had the news, it's one of those things that the earlier, you catch it, the more luck you're going to have throughout your journey. Now, after you found out you had cancer, you had a few decisions to make, a couple of, do I do this or do I that? Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So with the breast cancer diagnosis, there are a lot of different treatment options. For myself, I wanted to, aggressively attack this. It was something that was invading my body. So I was having a young family, wanted to make sure that I gave myself every fighting chance that I could. So I basically got in touch with the people at Pink Hope and also the National Breast Cancer Foundation to analyse and actually have a look at, what were the options out there. Obviously involved myself with a really good medical team, but also allied health professionals as well to get their insights. So really early on got in touch with a naturopath, a physio that specialised in dealing with patients that, had breast cancer. That was all super key to do really early on. Essentially, I think the main things that were important were making the right decisions for me at that point in time. Everybody has a different journey. Everybody has, a different way that they want to face things, and the different treatment options out there are going to be different for everybody depending on your type of cancer. So for me, I was actually diagnosed with what we call a triple positive breast cancer. So that means that my cancer was very reactive to both the female and male hormones, so ER and PR positive, and also what they refer to as HER2 positive. So I had a triple positive, which meant that it was very aggressive and highly agitated to a lot of the hormones that were just, functioning around through my body. So I had to attack this thing quite strongly. And so, evaluating all of those options was really key. And again, just listening to what I needed to do for myself and evaluating the best decisions for my family. So, some of the key things you need to think about are obviously, your family planning. That's a big one. A lot of young women are being diagnosed with breast cancer. It's not an older woman's thing, which is something that I was sort of a little bit shocked to find out, being involved and speaking with a lot of people that have gone through this journey as well. 27, that's not uncommon to have a diagnosis of breast cancer at 27, which for me, I was, really blown away with that. And to be faced with the options that you had to look at your actual fertility as part of breast cancer treatment was huge. I mean, for me, I was lucky. I already had my child and had already made my decision that I wasn't wanting to extend my family. So I was very fortunate. But a lot of people aren't in that situation. So, it affects a lot more than what you actually realize. So again, just, getting it early and listening to your body early is super important, because then you've got more options and you may even have more time to make some of these decisions. If you're diagnosed further down the line, some of those options may come off the table due to how quick or the different treatment options that you have.
Yeah, that's such an incredible point that you just made there. Catching it early on gives you more options. I think it's so incredible, your ability to talk about this, not just now, post your journey, but also throughout your journey. It's beautiful. I didn't know that you had, so many connections with physio and Pink Hope, and various doctors. And I know that you spent a lot of time with the professor learning about this and talking about it. And I feel like if I went through that, I don't know if I'd be as open, right? I might keep it to myself a little bit more, or, just kind of go on the journey by myself. And I think that, not just throughout, but before, we even noticed it, it's that ability to not just keep it within, even if you do hear it, but talk about it, talk to your doctor, talk to your husband, just be open and get those opinions, because, that subconscious, that little voice in our head, even though it can do us so much good, it can also work against us too. It's going to be okay. It's all right. I've got that meeting. I've got this workout. I've got that catch up. Sometimes like we said before, that noisy world we live in can shut out something that's very, very important. Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing, B. It is something that I've heard a couple of times, but you just can't get over that journey and those decisions that you had to make. And being on the other side of this, how grateful you can be to still live, very normal life, train with us and, spend time with your family and do things that really care and matter to you. And one of them is, being aware and making sure that if this is going to happen to anybody else, male or female, we can check in with ourselves and we can stop it and prevent it early. The last thing we're going to talk about today is how we can self-check, how we can be self-aware, not just from, a mental standpoint, but from a physical standpoint too.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, obviously, yes, being in tune with your body and knowing what's normal for you is critical. But I guess from a breast cancer perspective, it isn't just females, as you touched on. It is male affected as well. And it isn't just the breast tissue. So when you are actually doing those breast, examinations, so whether it's yourself having a bit of a, feel around while you're washing yourself, when you're intimate with your partner, there's multiple ways you can do this, and you can make it fun, and it opens those conversations again between you and your loved one. There's no harm. We often, would make little jokes previous to all this stuff happening about, oh, did you feel anything? But I think what was, one thing that does stand out is that for breast cancer, it's not just that touching around your actual breast, your normal breast area. It's actually going under the armpit as well is really, really important. And the reason for that is because sometimes there are, they're called lymph nodes that are positioned under your armpit, which quite often can actually get some of the breast cancer cells encroaching within that lymph node, which then actually can push the cancer around to other parts of your body. So quite often you may not feel a lump necessarily in your breast tissue, but it might actually be under your arm, and you could even get something as simple as radiating shoulder pain, or restriction in movement in your arm could be because you've got lumps or something there. So I guess just having that flat palm, pressing that against the different parts of your chest, but again also under that armpit, and having a good feel around for anything that's not normal.
Yeah, cool. And same thing goes for guys. I didn't actually know this, but males can get breast cancer too. And then myself, talking on behalf of the male population, as much as I'm sure we wouldn't like to talk about it and we'd like to admit it, prostate cancer is definitely a thing too. Being aware is about listening to your body, and regardless if we are talking about cancer, if we're talking about something else, grabbing onto your two balls and having a play around and just saying, is this normal, is another really important question to ask. And I'm sure a lot of you blokes are with me on that one. Yeah, cool. Well, was there anything else you wanted to add or touch on, B?
No, I think, look, I guess just extending my, my voice and also my ears to anybody that may be going through that or knows somebody as well. I am a very open book, happy to listen and happy to talk and share any experiences. So please, if there's anybody out there that wants to, have somebody else to connect with, happy to do that. But also Pink Hope and the National Breast Cancer Foundation has, a myriad of both male and female people that are going through exactly these things, for families also as well. So if you're somebody who maybe has a friend who might have been diagnosed and you're just not sure what to ask or how to help them, you can reach out. There's a section in these charities that actually allows you to get insight into how you can help and things that you can do to support those people. But always here for you if you ever need anything.
Thank you very much, Bear. Some more insight that, again, I didn't know about, and everyone, including myself, knows someone who's very close to someone that has had cancer. And some of these, whether they're helplines or charities or ways that you can get involved and ways you can give back and ways you can help, are very much surrounding us. And best believe BCHP will have something to do about it, both with the awareness and also raising some money in some upcoming charities. So yeah, really excited to be a part of that. Thank you very much, B. I really appreciate you giving your time, your story, and also your ears for anyone that wants to talk to you. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the studio, miss.
Awesome. Thank you.
Brilliant. See you soon. Thank you.